good they are. I mean, we might touch on that for a particular few cards that are interesting, but for the most part, we're here to just talk about whether the card design itself is actually good.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I have zero idea what Magic is like, and I never have. But I do know what makes a good card and what does not make a good card. So
All
let's just
right.
continue on. So first body we have the Crested Sunmare.
So he is a 5/5 for 5
Yep.
that makes other horses indestructible, and he's not legendary, so you could potentially have two out, and then they would cross buff each other. And then the beginning of each end step, if you have gain life this turn, create a 5/5 white horse creature token. Um, there's not much to say about this guy.
Yeah.
He's pretty boring. Um, I think most likely what happens if you try to play him is he gets killed by some instant speed removal, and that was the end.
Yeah.
Um, and also, as far as I know, horses are not really much of a type
No,
in
there aren't many
Magic.
horses. No.
So making all your horses indestructible is kind of like. Eh.
I don't think
Also,
there's not even many horses in the set. Like it doesn't have like a ton of synergy or anything.
no. Can we just talk about the at the beginning of your end step clause and how that's like not good?
Sure.
So the beginning of the end step is just there's no other phase in the game really that requires you to say at the beginning of your phase like it should just like say at your end step.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why they did that is because there's some cards that are instants that like end, so to speak, at your end step. Like create a guy, it dies at your end step.
Mm-hmm.
So what if you cast that in the middle of your end step? Does it just die right away? Um, I think a much more simple solution would have been yes, it does just die right away, and then you don't need this wording of at the beginning of
Yeah.
each end step. So yeah, I mean it's just a theme you're going to notice in this set is that there's just a shit ton of words on all the cards.
Yeah. I felt like this set they decided to pay their designers based on word count.
Mm,
So I feel that that's where this stuff's coming from.
makes sense.
Yeah. From a
Okay.
commander's perspective, straight in the trash.
Yeah, we play Commander, so yeah, card's garbage. It's probably garbage in Standard too. It's
Yeah.
just garbage.
You might draft it though. It'd be sweet. 5/5 for
I
five.
mean, 5/5 for 5 is good, even if you probably can never gain life, or if you gain life once, it's disgusting. So, moving on.
Yeah. Now I like this
Wow,
one.
8 mana.
It's a lot.
So you enchant a player, which is already kind of weird, but sure. Or a curse. You know, again, words just in the card type. Before we discuss what it does, we have an enchantment or a curse that enchants player. So, again, words just out the ass. Just so many words. So, and creatures enchanted player controls lose all abilities and have a base power and toughness of 1/1. Enchanted player can't activate abilities that aren't mana abilities or loyalty abilities. So, basically, it makes all of your artifacts that don't tap for mana useless. Makes all your creatures useless. Basically, makes everything except planeswalkers useless.
It's hard to parse just looking at it because it has like a double negative.
Right. So what it should
Yeah.
say is everything your opponent has goes right to the garbage bin except for planeswalkers.
Yeah.
But in order to actually say that, you need words on words on words.
You know, this seems great in Commander.
Oh yeah, I think it's
It's
pretty
unreal.
scary.
Yeah, it's
You got
pretty nasty.
Academy Rector.
Yep. Um, the
I mean, if
design of
this
it,
resolves,
you know,
I mean,
I
there's
like
way
it.
too many words.
Yeah,
Way
it's
too
too
many
many
words.
words. I agree, but I like the effect. It's a cool for something that costs a lot of mana. It does something pretty cool.
I
And
think they should have just went all in and just made it Also, Rune Planeswalkers, so you could just have way less words on this card.
Yeah, why not? Fuck
Yeah,
planeswalkers. That's
I
sort
don't
of a
I don't know
theme of
why.
this set. Is there's only one planeswalker, that's Nicol Bolas. The rest are all trash and deserve to be bodied. So why
Right.
shouldn't this?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Also, I don't know how white it feels. It feels more like a multicolor card,
Yeah.
but sure. A lot of words, but sure. All right. Hour of Revelation. So it's power creep because there already is a 6-mana card
Mm-hmm.
that destroys all non-land permanents with the exact same casting cost, actually. Um,
Yep.
so we're doing power creep, which maybe is fine because power creep for the most part is okay if the thing you're creeping on was never used.
Mm-hmm.
It's only like a cheap cash grab bullshit strategy if the cards are already good and then you make them even better.
Yeah.
So that way everyone must buy the cards. So this is a strict upgrade to a card that really never got used. Again, it's got a lot of words on it.
Mm-hmm. You have to count a lot.
You have to count if there's 10 or more non-land permanents. That being said, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it seems awesome.
Pretty good card.
Get him out.
But so far we're 3 cards in. And granted, these are rares and mythics, and those tend to have more words. But so far we're 3 cards in, and we're like 5 paragraphs of text in.
Yeah, this is incredible. Really going card by card. A lot of times when I've been looking at this, I'm just like, oh, just sort of skimming. But going at it card by card is just so many words. Oh my god.
All right, moving on to Oketra's Last Mercy. Your life total becomes equal to your starting life total. Lands you control don't untap during your next untap step. So this is a part of a cycle of cards that all don't let your lands untap. And this just goes to show why cycles of cards, while cute, and if you manage to nail all of them, it can be pretty cool. Why cycles aren't great, because this card is just straight garbage.
Yeah, it's so bad.
And it exists because a cycle of them had to exist. They were told by their boss, make one of each color. So this was the garbage thing they came up with for white, and it's garbage and it's worthless, and that's the end.
Yeah, goodbye. Alright, we got the first legendary creature.
Wow. Jeru with eyes
Zero,
open.
Yeah.
So he is a 5-mana 4/3, and when he enters the battlefield, you search your library for a Planeswalker card, put it in your hand, and if the source would deal damage to a Planeswalker you control, so basically, first off, just home run for how many words are on this card. Great job, this guy hit a big bonus.
At least $10.
Yeah, at least $10. Yeah. Why does it have vigilance? I don't understand. You could again. You just want to clean up cards.
Yeah.
When they have a lot of words, especially, you really want to figure out how to get rid of the most amount of words possible. I'd also like to point out that he has 8 words before we get to his rules text box. Like, it's just that's too many. But as far as like the mechanically, so tutors are good because they're cheap.
Yeah.
This is a very expensive tutor, and also it doesn't really work with the thing it's tutoring. Like, yeah, it prevents 1 damage to a planeswalker or whatever, but it doesn't make your planeswalkers tick up faster. It doesn't make them cheaper. It does like a very fringe thing. So it's kind of like a 5-mana tutor that doesn't really do what you're hoping it does.
Yeah, I've noticed that the more mana you have in Magic, it's very important that what you're doing happens now or is extremely powerful, and they have to stop it. And this guy has none of these things. He's casting for 5 mana. He's not doing anything, really.
If this guy was a 1/1 for 2, I'd be scared.
That'd be sweet.
Actually, it would be really good there. Maybe even like a 2/2 for 3. I would be sold on this guy. But 5 mana, it's like they wanted him to be bad for some reason. That's another thing about Magic. a lot of the cards they just decide to make sure they're not like pushing the boundary, and I don't understand why you wouldn't want to. Like, yeah, sometimes you're gonna end up with cards that are too good. It's okay. The game has dealt with hundreds of those.
Yeah, it's whatever.
First off, when you have so many hate cards available in the game,
Mhm.
that innately like a metagame can form around this. Or if it's so good that it breaks the metagame, which is unlikely, then you could ban it, which obviously is really bad. But I don't see how a card like this could ever be banned unless you made it like 1 mana or something.
Mhm.
And even then, I'm not sure that would make it ban worthy.
It's like a 1 mana draw card.
So yeah, they could have just made this guy better and didn't for no reason. And way too many words.
Yeah.
All right, Angel of Condemnation. Oh, look at the words.
This is. I'm gonna point this out. They have to make the font a size smaller to fit all these words.
Yes.
Can't tell. I hope you got your reading glasses.
Okay, so it can pay mana to blink something, or it could.
You know that new keyword?
Um,
Exert?
Yeah.
It's
So
when
it
you
either
select
flashes things or it can banish things until she dies. My first question is why does it have so many words?
Mhm.
It doesn't like for this card to be interesting. It doesn't need to be able to do all these things.
Nope.
I get that it's cute that it has vigilance with a tap ability. That part is okay. So I'm not criticizing the extra keywords it has. And it's
Yeah.
an angel, so it should fly. That's fine.
Yep.
Why can't we just delete the first thing it does?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question.
And also, why is the first thing it does so overcosted and costs 3 mana? Like the second ability is many times more powerful than the first on average, and yet they cost the same amount. It's just bizarre.
I guess they're trying to say that exerting is a cost because it doesn't untap for like 2 turns.
Right.
But I don't know. That still seems. It doesn't even seem much of a cost if you're exerting something that that thing's gonna kill me if I don't get rid of it. So whatever. I don't have a 3/3 for a turn.
Right.
So whatever. She
Yeah.
can attack first.
I just think that this
Yeah.
card would have done really well. I actually would have no qualm with this card if it just deleted the first part
Yep.
of its ability box.
Yeah. Sad.
Solemnity. So this, and then you have this. So every card so far has been like intentionally pushed to not be like crazy,
Mm-hmm.
and then you put this in the game. Now I'm sure in standard this card does like nothing and
Yeah, it
it's a
doesn't do
joke,
anything.
but in Commander and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about Legacy because I don't really play Legacy, but it's certainly possible that it does something in Legacy. But definitely in Commander, like this card does crazy ass shit.
Yeah, it's unreal.
So it's like they're okay with making crazy cards for older formats, but not for standard. But why do people play the older formats? Really, it's because they're more fun than standard. So
Yeah.
why not just put the fun stuff in standard? And then you wouldn't even need to have older formats. I mean, obviously they still would exist because people want to use their cards, from
Yeah, of
a
course.
while
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
But they wouldn't. They'd just as much want to play standard
Yep.
instead of not wanting to play standard.
Yep.
As far as the design goes, I mean, it's fine. It's cool.
Yeah,
I just don't get why they put a push card only for not standard. I don't get it.
So you don't
Okay, moving on. I guess that's one thing that's sad, right? Is a lot of rares are really powerful in draft, and then you get a rare like that, and you're just really sad.
You're just like, yeah, throw in the trash. It's gonna be your last pick.
Yep. Okay, moving on. Okay, now I get to talk shit about one of the core mechanics of the set. Great.
Yeah.
So we have the Adorned Pouncer, 2 mana, 1/1 double strike. So that doesn't even make any sense. Like that's like obviously there's the point of this card is the eternalized part, but the idea that a 2 mana 1/1 double strike is a rare when that card's been printed quite a few times and it's always uncommon.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you play it, it has the effect of an uncommon card. That is not a good place for your rare to be.
No.
Just in terms of um, meeting player expectations. So obviously the reason it's a rare and not uncommon is because it has this eternalize. Um, Eternalize to me, they've done this with Megamorph, and I thought Megamorph was one of the most pathetic and uninspired mechanics I've ever heard of in my life.
Yeah.
And this is literally that again,
Yep.
where they're copying their own mechanic from the last set, except they're making it that your guy gets bigger when you do the M-bomb.
Yep.
On its own, it's a fine mechanic, I guess. Although I don't like, as we'll see with a lot of the future cards, I don't like the way it forces the cards to be worded. But um, having literally just played with this mechanic that's 1% different, I, I'm just floored. I don't get it.
I don't know. I don't know what to say about it.
I think it's just awful.
Yeah. It just sucks.
Okay, moving on. Gideon's defeat. All right.
This is part of the 5-part series of you thought your best friends were planeswalkers. Actually, your best friend is Nicol Bolas. I rate all of these 10 out of 10.
So
I love them.
the only thing I don't, I think they're funny, but my big problem with them is how actually terrible and unplayable they are. Because they all only hit cards of their specific color. So it's a white card that only hits other white cards. So it's basically just complete garbage.
Yeah, it's in the trash.
I don't get why they had to make this cool, or what could be a cool cycle of cards, so bad. Like, yeah, maybe a couple of these make it into the sideboards. But, like, these cards are supposed to be cool and flavorful and to some degree iconic. And also, if these are all supposed to be done by Nicol Bolas, is the idea, why is there a white card?
Because he's
Nicol
all
Bolas,
colors.
no, he's not, though. He's not white. He is absolutely not white.
What is he?
So,
he's red, black,
blue.
red, black, blue. Yeah.
So that's actually sort of a weird thing. Again, they want cycles so badly that they're stretching things. I think overall, these cards could have been really cool, and instead they made them stupid.
Yep.
Saving Grace. Oh, we're going to try to go a little faster.
Yeah.
All right. So it's a 2-mana enchantment with flash.
It just seems
so it's basically this card really wishes it was a sorcery, or sorry, an instant, but they wanted to have a lingering buff around, so it has way more words than it needs.
Mm-hmm.
But here's my problem with that: is the card's terrible anyway.
Yeah.
So why add so many words to a card when it's going to be terrible anyway? If you're gonna add this many words, at least make it good.
What would, if it was like +3/+3 or something?
Well, I mean that would be crazy for 2-mana, but
Yeah, and also not white, but whatever.
Right.
What if it's +1/+10?
Well, again, that'd be ridiculous. But well, like the point is, this card should just not have the. It should just give it +1/+3 to the end of turn or whatever, and be an instant.
Mm-hmm.
Because that would save a considerable amount of words. You could save the word flash. You'd save the enchant creature you control. You know, it would just be a lot less words and do the same thing 99% of the time. And again, it's part of quotas. I'm sure they needed another enchantment. Yeah. So how do we make it like? If you force design, like don't get me wrong, putting constraints on design can be a good thing, but not when the card really wishes it was a different card type and you're just doing it because you have to.
Yeah, like white needs so many enchantments per set or whatever. All right, next we have unconventional tactics.
This card's pretty cool. Again, look how many words are on the card, though.
Yeah.
Overall, though, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's nothing original about this card, but it's fine. Overall, I like it.
If you had to write words to match the art, I think it actually matches really well. It's very funny to imagine that you're just sending zombies off a plank, give them flying.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
very funny.
Overall, I like it.
Yeah.
Then we got a creature who again has a bunch of words. So he's a 2 mana guy that can tap every other turn to make a 1/1.
That sounds like the worst garbage.
I mean, I'm sure it's fine in draft or whatever.
Yeah.
Also, why does the 1/1 have vigilance?
Because warriors have vigilance.
I mean, not all of them.
Is there a card that makes cowards and warriors or something?
Yes, that's from Future Sight. It's like maybe I think it's from Future. I don't know where it's from. I think it's from Future Sight.
It's getting to commander.
Hilarious.
That's
Yeah, that guy, that's a great card. Cowards can't block warriors. Um, yeah, I mean, this is just like filler. Whatever,
hmm
shouldn't exist, but it's filler. Again, bunch of words.
Yeah. This one
Um,
has the added bonus of you have to discard a card for some reason for its externalized card cost.
yeah, it's bizarre as hell because it's not even good.
No.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, it's just garbage.
Yep.
Then we have a flying cycler. So you notice that a lot too. A bunch of cards that are bad, but because they have cycling. Um, I think cycling is a good idea, but I almost wish it was just like a universal mechanic of the game rather than
Yeah.
something you have to put on cards.
That'd be really nice.
What if you could just pay 2 to cycle anything? Period.
Then you could have the rare card could have like super cycling or something.
Or you could just, give cards interesting abilities instead of ones that do nothing when you play them
Yeah.
and make them cost more,
Yeah.
which is not really intuitive for new players. I think cycling overall is a good mechanic, but again, I think it makes more sense as a game rule than it does as a mechanic you put on some cards.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with that one. I feel like that angel won't make it.
I mean, it's just a draft card. These are all just bulk draft cards. Next one, Vizier of the True. This guy seems just unbelievably bad.
Yeah.
So it's not just when he exerts, but when anything exerts that you get to tap a guy. But he's a 4-mana 3/2. And the thing that you tap it doesn't like super tap it.
Yeah.
It just taps it.
So you waited a turn for it to attack, and then finally attacks. You tap something, and then he just gets it right back. Like what? Like is he? Are you gonna kill him on turn 5 if you played him on turn 4? Is that like your plan with him?
I don't know.
It
I
has
don't
to
get why
be,
he's a
right?
3/2. Why is he so puny?
So he can die to their 2 mana red spell.
I don't know. It's just weird. The whole thing is weird. I don't get it.
Yeah. Well,
Moving on.
We got the
Look
desert.
how many words are on this card. I'm not even reading it, actually. Moving on.
It doesn't even do anything. I think.
Who cares?
Oh, this is the
Too
legendary
many
spell.
words. Uh, so garbage.
Yep.
Just
It goes with the garbage legendary. So
it's just garbage.
the
Okay.
garbage guy does garbage spells.
Yeah. Um. After that, you have some boring filler card.
Yep.
No one cares.
Exile target card. Oh, this is externalized
So it's
hate.
it's the anti.
We
I mean,
did
this
it.
card makes sense. This
Yep.
card makes sense. Good job on that card. I mean, granted, it's totally garbage in like any real format, but in draft, whatever.
Yeah.
It's tough. Like,
it'd actually probably be good in draft because all the
yeah, it's
externalized
good.
stuff doesn't cost you a card,
Right.
so that's pretty nice.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah.
Dauntless Avon. Um, so this guy is like the Wombo combo with Exert guys, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. He's.
I think this is actually a good design. I like it.
Yeah, I think it's great because he
Good job.
works in like almost any set really.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's good and not a lot of words.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that they calmed down with the giant flavor text Like they should be so proud that this card does something interesting without a lot of words that they should just have very few words on this card. It doesn't need any flavor text. Yeah, but it's like so much words and no one cares. Like I gotta like okay. Does some small amount of people care? Probably. But do they care about some random common? No, I don't think so. Like anyone that does care about the story, they care about like Jace or Johnny or.
No way, dude. I care about fucking pestering Mike.
Yeah, you care. Yeah. Dauntless Avon.
He's my favorite character.
Doesn't even have a name. Like,
no.
But he has a paragraph of flavor. Okay. Active Heroism. I remember this card. Oh, no, I'm thinking of... Wait, Moment of Heroism is what I'm thinking of. Okay, so it's a different card. Very similar, though.
I like it. It's sort of like a interesting trick where you can block two things. Maybe you can kill two.
Yeah, I like it. It's a little confusing for one guy to block two guys for new players, maybe, but it's fine.
It's okay. Magic came out in 1994. Or earlier, maybe. There's no new players.
Some kind of camel.
Why does it have so many lifelink? If you have a desert, who cares?
I don't get why it needs to have that second clause. Why can't it just be if you control a desert?
Because there's a bunch of desert sacrificing cards.
Yeah, but who cares? But who cares? Like this card's not good anyway. Who cares if it's 1% worse to have way less words on it? Again, I don't get why. Like it's you can't tell me it's more flavorful either. That's a total mechanical thing. That's actually worse flavor.
Yeah.
It's not like this card's good. Like, who cares? Just have it less words. I'm gonna infiltrate Magic headquarters, and I'm just gonna put signs on all of the creatives' desk and all development's desks that says less words. That's it. That's all it's gonna say.
All right, next we got Sandblast.
Yeah, it's a good. I like it. It's a good white card. Yeah. White gets to do direct damage to attackers and blockers. It's cool. Cool
it
art.
Also matches flavor. It looks like it's that dude's getting sandblasted.
He really is. All right.
A+.
Oketra's Avenger. So it can attack to make itself attack safely. Yeah, I like it. I would like it more if there were less words on all the other cards. Because there's quite a few words on this. But yeah, I think it's an interesting card. So I think it's good.
All right.
So we got the Mummy Paramount. Whenever a zombie, you get +1. So he's like, they make cards like this a lot. I don't think these cards are interesting at all.
No.
I mean, they're fine playable cards, and they make you care about a creature type. So overall, it's fine filler. Like, it's better than vanilla filler, I guess. But there's nothing really cool about this card.
Why isn't it just like +1/+1? Just like
because then it might actually be decent. And also, then you'd have to make it uncommon because in draft that might be crazy.
Yeah, I guess.
It's the problem with having a format that's way lower powered than another format.
Yeah.
With standard and draft, because things that are garbage in standard might be good in draft. So if you make them good for standard, they're mental in draft.
Yeah, that's a problem. Maybe.
And it is a problem they face.
If he wasn't a zombie, maybe. If the Paramount himself was just like a dude.
Right. Moving on, we have the Dutiful Servants. So just the definition of garbage filler.
Yep.
God Pharaoh's Faithful. See, you get it? It's like Nicol Bolas's disciple in white. I don't get why it gains why does it gain a life though? Like if the idea is the idea is she's corrupted by Bolas, then why doesn't she do something Bolas?
When you're joining the winning side.
Oh yeah, it's a good point. But I don't know. It's like this card is really bad. It doesn't it's got the flavor of Nicol Bolas because it does something when you do red white white black. I know I'm trying blue black or red.
Yeah.
But like that's literally like it's like name dropping because it doesn't actually literally do anything interesting. It just claims to have flavor without actually like having any flavor. I like the art though.
Yeah.
The
Does
art's
she
really
only have
cool.
one leg?
Um, I think she has no legs, and that's a shadow.
Oh, okay.
I
That
think
makes
she's a
sense.
ghost.
Spooky.
Yeah, her leg looks really weird. Moving on. Steadfast Sentinel. Just some boring eternalized guy. So that's the other thing. So granted, obviously there's going to be eternalized in more colors than just white,
Mm-hmm.
but all these eternalized guys weren't really interesting.
No.
It's a lot of words. It's a whole lot of words, but none of them actually did anything interesting.
No.
So yeah. So overall, I give the white cards an F.
Yep.
Um,
That sounds fair.
couple good ones, but overall an F. All right, moving on to blue.
All right.
Oh, look at the words on this guy.
Oh, Jesus Christ! It's blue, so it has to be correct. So
Words.
right, it's the hard. It's the
Okay,
hard
so
color.
first off, Sphinxes cost 2 less to cast. Also, just think about the wording. Sphinx spells you cast cost 2 less to cast. Like, think about how bad that wording is, because it has to be that way. Unreal. Like, that is just garbage that they have to word it that way for it to make rule sense.
Yeah.
Like, that is just an ungodly abomination of a line of text.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. It should say Sphinxes cost 2 less.
Yeah.
But it can't. So you get that abomination. Now, what does this thing actually do? Whenever
You
it
get like factor
enters,
fiction or whatever.
you get a mini factor fiction.
Yeah.
Um, so they've already made that card at 7 mana. That's literally just a Sphinx that casts factor fiction.
Yeah.
You actually see it in the Thesaurus there, the Sphinx of Luthun.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not original. It makes other Sphinxes cheaper, but it's a legendary, so you can't make more copies of itself cheaper, which might actually be exciting. Um, I don't know. This card doesn't do anything cool.
No.
It's got a whole lot of words on it, though.
Yep.
I'll give it an F. Yeah.
Yeah. Rip.
Kefnet's Last Word. It's a
Yep.
sorcery. So you gain control of something, and then lands you control don't untap. So sadly, granted they don't print good mind controls anymore. They're all like 7 mana. So I get it in that sense. But sadly for them, all the old control magics just cost 4 and 5 with no downside.
Yep.
Granted, it's slightly better than those because it's a sorcery, so therefore they can't disenchant the enchantment.
Mm-hmm.
But no one's excited by this because, in their commander deck, they have actual control magic,
Yeah.
which
It's never
does
gonna
this.
go in.
So, like, no one's excited by this because they made too many cards that are similar to this and way better in the past.
Yeah.
So it's a sad day for them. In my opinion, if you think control magic kind of cards are too good, but all the old ones were really good, then just don't make them anymore. Don't make new ones that's going to excite nobody. Just don't make them.
Well, what are you gonna make instead then?
Anything. Who cares? Be creative. Do something.
There's two. We gotta do something.
And also, just the wording on this. I know these are all like called the last whatever, right? They're all like the last something, right? Is that right? Aren't they all the last?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the last mercy, last word. Why is it called the last? Like, shouldn't the last one be like you lose the game at the end of the turn or something? Or wouldn't that be last? Like,
Well, he dies after. That's why.
but yeah, but nothing even dies. If it was like you must have a Kefnet in play and then sacrifice the Kefnet to do this, then that would be good flavor at least.
Yeah.
But that's not what this is. Yeah, this card's a super F.
Yep.
Then we got Hour of Eternity. First off, the mana cost. I can tell you when I was a little kid, and I'm sure for new players, they actually don't know how much that costs. They just can't. They can't do it.
I realized this when I was playing not Empty the Warrens, but that Black Zombie one.
The Empty the Pits. Yeah.
Empty the Pits. I was like, well, how come I don't get 12? No, you get 6. What?
Yeah, and that one has Delve. So that one's even worse. But,
Yeah.
so it's just even more confusing. So you exile X creature cards, and then you make. So, I guess there's minor historical precedence for this to be a blue card because in Innistrad there were blue zombie guys that require you to exile guys in order to cast them, and then they were big. So that was like blue's way of getting a big creature. Granted, I feel like that was just penciled in, and now they're just playing off of that because that didn't make any real sense to me then. Blue mills itself, which plays into that. I get that part, but this feels like it should be blue-black. Then I would absolutely not question it at all. I mean, again, I really hate that mana cost, but I guess they felt they had to make it that way for balancing purposes. Although it's really kind of bad because you get a 5-mana 4/4. So unless you're doing this for 7, you get 2 4/4s for 7, which still isn't great, or 3 4/4s for 9. Like the problem with this card is it never scales up well. No. So you're never like excited if you have a bunch of mana, really.
It's always just like, oh, I guess.
And I feel like this is just a blue-black card that they decided it can be blue for some reason. I'll give it an F.
Yep. Champion of Wits.
This card better do something awesome.
It does not.
Oh my god, that Eternalize cost is insane. So you draw 2 cards and then you discard 2, so it double loots, but it's a 3-mana 2/1 that double loots. Yep. And then maybe you get to 7 mana, and then it kind of it draws 4, and then you discard 2. My problem with this card is, and this is a big problem with Eternalize in general, is in order for them to reconcile the Eternalize like being like decent to good, they made the base cards suck.
Yep.
And this card sucks. When you play it, it sucks. Like, I get that, there's going to be things you want to discard in the set, so that's kind of cool. But at the end of the day, even if it does that, it's a 3-mana 2/1.
Yeah.
That is abysmal. And look how many words are on this card, and it only can be played in limited, because obviously it's a joke in constructed.
Yeah, it's unreal.
Cards with this many words at least better be playable in constructed. And it's a rare 3-mana 2/1. Like, I get that it does stuff, but it's a rare 3-mana 2/1. Like, the card has to be like think about other rare 3-mana 2/1s. Even Mind Sensor. Your opponent's fetch lands and Demonic Tutor suck. Okay. That makes sense. Like, wow, that's really powerful. Is this even really powerful? Like, no. No, just get it out. All right, moving on. So we have Nimble Obstructionist.
I actually like this card because it counters something that there's not much that actually can counter.
Oh, interesting. So, yeah, basically. So the fact that, here's a problem I have with this card, is that its main use is actually not even to play it. I don't like it. Okay, maybe on the one hand, that makes players feel clever. That it's like, oh, I figured out that you're not supposed to actually cast this creature with slash and flying. It feels like this card's supposed to do something when it comes into play, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
And I really don't like that about it.
Oh, sorry. I don't like this card because I thought it was when it comes into play.
No, it's only when you cycle it.
Only when you cycle it. Okay, that's dumb. Yeah, sorry. I thought it was like it was a sweet bird wizard
either
that came
or
in and countered a planeswalker or whatever. Like +1.
No, it's only if you don't play the sweet bird wizard.
Yeah, well that's stupid. F-.
See, it's actually an instant card that has this weird alternate functionality of making a 3/1.
Yeah.
It's an instant counter spell. It's this card's just a formatting nightmare, and
yeah.
It's not a creature. It's a creature card that isn't a creature.
That's just F-.
Or it's like if you play it as a creature, you did it wrong.
Yeah.
It's just garbage. Get out of here. Okay, more words.
I feel like this card you could put it into. I don't know how good mill decks are in any format, but I feel like it's sort of instant kill.
This card's sweet.
Yeah.
But the art's like insane. Really good art.
Yeah.
A lot of these cards have had pretty cool art, but this one, Love this art.
It's awesome.
Probably the best art we've seen so far. Um, I really hate how much they use X these days because
Yeah.
X again is confusing for new players. Like X is not great. You want to avoid X when you can. Overall, though, this card's fine.
Mhm.
Again, great art. Wow, 7 mana enchantment. Look at this thing.
It
Whenever you
better be
can, so you
amazing.
copy. So it's just 7 mana. You get to copy stuff. It's really unoriginal because they've done so many cards that copy stuff before.
That are way cheaper. What's that quest one?
Yeah,
Doesn't it cost like 2 or something?
yeah. Pyromancer Ascension.
Yeah. That one's
Um,
sweet.
or there's like Echo Mage was a creature that did. Like, it's just this card existed in many forms. I also don't get the flavor.
I don't either.
And here's the thing: I'm sure there is flavor to everything they do because they have like a whole team designed around world building and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But if it's not immediately clear to me, then they didn't do a good job, in my opinion.
Maybe it's like you cast the spell, and then your locust is also casting the spell. Just one of them. How come it's
But I
not
don't get
casting
like
like
the
five
art.
billion
I just don't get
copies?
that. Yeah, I know. I just don't get it. So it's bad.
Yeah.
And obviously the card's wildly unplayable, so that part's disappointing too.
All right, we
Um,
got Jace's
Jace's
defeat.
defeat.
Now, I know the white one was garbage, but all the best spells are blue. So,
The thing is though, like there's already like if you look in the thesaurus there, you can see this card literally is just a 1% power creep on Gainsay.
yeah.
Um, but basically, it's just like flavor text.
Hmm.
Um, I don't get why all these cards have to be bad.
I don't know. That's a good question. I guess I didn't want to. How come Nicol Bolas's hand isn't even in this one? It's in the other one.
I don't know.
I don't know. Art gets 10 out of 10 because Jace getting fucked up is always
Yeah,
enjoyable to see. Fuck that guy.
yeah. I don't like it. I don't like that whole cycle. I
No.
think it was a good idea conceptually, but I think their execution was not good. Okay, what do we got? Oh, this looks like another enchantment that's not an enchantment. What do we got?
Hmm.
What um okay, so it's a um why can't this just literally be a creature that says it can only like attack or block if you played a non-creature spell? Like why does it have to be an enchantment?
Because they needed more enchantments.
I don't know, it just feels like I don't think cards like this shouldn't exist,
Hmm.
but these cards that like become other cards when you do a thing and then like that's the real thing they do. So like as a 2 mana enchantment that lets you pay 3 mana to scry, obviously this card's a joke.
Yeah.
So the real thing is this becoming a creature thing.
Hmm.
But like it's just so many words and it's confusing and the flavor doesn't make any sense.
No.
The name doesn't make any sense.
No. What if it was like ask your opponent a riddle? If he gets it right.
Then you do some draw 10 cards.
Oh god.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I think this card like it plays out fine so mechanically it's all right, but so many words.
Yeah.
Then we got imaginary threats. It's a cool name.
Yeah.
Wait, what? I thought it would like, make their threats imaginary.
Yeah. It does not.
It actually just doesn't do that at all. Wait,
Nope.
what is going on? I'm floored. I thought this was a counterspell, first off. It looks very counterspelly. And the name is great. I love the name. It's very blue.
Yep.
And then the effect, I'm floored.
Yep.
How, dude, what is going on?
Isn't there like a red spell that like makes something rage or whatever, and they have to attack?
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like,
Yeah.
there's been like, it's blue to make things tap and not untap.
Yeah.
It's not really very blue to make things attack you. Um, and like, why is this called imaginary threats? Their guys deal damage. They hit you.
There's real threats as they're hitting.
Yeah. What is What the fuck?
In the trash. Goodbye.
What is going on, man? Like, someone needs to get fired. I'm serious. Someone needs to get fired. Um, all right, now we have another keyword, afflict. So whenever it becomes blocked, so basically they wanted to make it like unblock. They wanted to make these guys like unblockable, but not unblockable.
Yeah.
So basically, it's like a split card of it's either a 2/3 or it's a 1/3 that draws a card when it attacks. I think afflict is not a very interesting ability.
I think this guy is like the best afflict.
But why is it only 2? Why is it not 3?
That's a good question.
Like, it's not like it'd be constructed playable anyway.
Yeah.
I think afflict is not a very interesting mechanic, and this guy isn't powerful enough to be cool.
I think afflict is okay. I sort of like the idea of like a weak guy that maybe you don't want to block, but you do want to block because they get a powerful thing if you don't.
But you could do that. Like, there's a bunch of cards like that in Magic's history.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see why you need a whole set of guys that do this. Just give, like, this guy Death Touch, and then be done with it.
Yeah.
And you don't need a keyword.
No.
I mean, that card would actually be stronger than this one, too.
Yeah.
This card sucks.
It's ass.
The problem is, so they block it. Yeah, they lose 2 life, but then they just kill it because it's a shitty 1/3. So it doesn't trade well with anything.
Well, there's actually it stays alive because there's so many creatures in the set that only have 2 attack.
I guess.
So there's nothing that can kill it.
Right.
It's the 10-turn clock. You play 4
Right.
of them, you're dead in like 2 turns.
There you go. All right. So yeah, I mean, the card is fine, but I don't think afflict is worthy of being a mechanic. I think they're really out of ideas. Okay, then we have a guy that looks like Teferi. What is this guy? So many words on this guy.
Yeah.
So it tutors an Eternalizer and Bomb guy into your graveyard. Oh, wow, this guy's actually powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you activate Eternalizer and Bomb, draw a card. That's actually really strong.
Yeah, it's great.
It's probably barely not good enough for Constructed, but in drafts,
yeah,
very.
Guys are nuts.
It's bizarre because I don't think it's good enough for Constructed, but it's really good in draft. So it hits the sweet spot of cards you don't want to have exist.
Mm-hmm. Is there any embalm cards in the set? That was the last set.
I don't think so. I think it's only Eternalized in this set, and then it references Embalm because of the last set.
That's okay.
Too bad this guy isn't quite a little bit better. I think it'd actually be good enough.
Maybe like a 2/5?
Yeah, something like that. It's a little slow for Constructed.
Yeah, that's true.
But a lot of words. I actually like this card though.
Yeah.
Even though it's a lot of words, I think it pulls its weight. It doesn't have unnecessary words. So yeah, I like it. Good job.
Ominous Sphinx. Cycling.
Really cool art.
Yeah, it is ominous looking. They nailed it.
Their art department, for the most part, does a great job.
Who drew this?
Lars something.
Lars Grant West. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. It's good design. Straightforward.
Yep.
I really don't like how all these cards say or discard a card. I wish it was just cycle, but they wanted to make them a little stronger, so slightly more words. Kind of wish they didn't have those words, but
is cycling sorcery only, right?
No. It's instant.
Okay.
Yeah, no, this guy's tricky. He does tricks.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's cool. It's not too many words, and it does something pretty interesting. So good job.
Get ready for your next. You're gonna have another favorite.
Oh no!
Card, the Sinuous
Look how bad this guy is.
It's
like, this is my problem with Eternalize. Is like
the first
because
guy
it's
bad,
Eternalized.
I guess.
Yeah, like, well, or the cards have to be constructed playable. Those are your only two choices. Because for limited, if the guy was good and then had eternalized, that's like fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like that's really good. So instead, the first guy has to suck. And that just makes all these disappointing.
I feel like this guy could be like a 1/4.
Who knows?
That'd be sweet. Then at
Who
least you
knows?
get like a choice that you can do it more than once, maybe. Hey, counterspell.
Supreme Will. So it's bad mana leak or bad impulse. That's actually exciting though because
Yep.
bad mana leak and bad impulse on one card is actually not that bad. I think this is actually well designed.
Yeah, I think it's good.
I mean, it's not very original in that it just jams two cards that cost 2 and makes the cost 3 because you choose between them. But yeah,
That's still
I
pretty fun
think
to do.
this is probably playable too. I don't know.
It's gotta be. It's a counterspell.
Yeah, I mean, but 3 mana counter spells are slow.
That's true. All right, then we have
Um,
one of my favorite arts because I think they're leaning over specifically to fit inside the
the card frame,
yeah for no other reason because it's such an
right?
awkward pose for them.
Yeah, Jace looks like a hunchback. It's awful art,
It's that's why I like it so much.
really bad. Um, so they made this card a bunch of times. It's not interesting, but whatever. It's a filler card. Not much to say other than really bad art.
Yeah, that's about it.
Aerial guide.
The
Why is it
sky's
Drake an aerial guide? That doesn't even make sense.
because
But
the sky's that way.
ah,
Yeah, you gotta like
they
where do
made
I
this
fly?
card. They made this card before.
Hmm.
Um, whatever. It's fine though.
Yeah, I think it's sweet. Gives stuff flying. That's fun.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't like the name, but other than that, this card has really popping art.
Yeah.
Flash. Why is it really bad though? Well, I guess for draft it's playable, but
Yeah.
um, I really like the art.
Hmm.
I like that there's not a million words on it.
There sort of is with his flavor text, but I guess that's okay. I don't mind.
Yeah, no flavor text on them. Whatever. All right, what do we got? Oh, so it's like a circular logic without madness.
Hmm.
Um, seems bad, but the design's fine.
Hmm.
Cool art.
I like it.
I don't know why necessarily it's countering arrows. That seems like something you won't be countering with this card, but all right.
What? There's not. You don't know what the green spell shot to the face?
Actually, there is a green spell in the last set that deals -3/-3 to a flyer.
Yeah, there it is. Not today.
Yeah, I guess not. All right. Cunning Survivor.
Doesn't do any surviving.
Oh. Yeah, he does not do any surviving at all. He should be called Cunning Elusive Guy.
Yeah, elusive survivor. Or
Well, no, because he's still not a survivor. He should just be called um, Unblockable Axeman. Like,
elusive soldier.
yeah.
I like elusive soldier. There we go. Can't be blocked.
Cunning Warrior. His name. Cunning Human Warrior.
Yeah.
Just whatever.
How about Bob Man?
But yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, I like him.
Good job.
Good job.
All right,
Spellweaver Eternal.
Spellweaver. It's a cool name. Cool art. Zombie Naga Wizard. That's way too many creature types, but okay.
There's a lot of wizards in this set.
Wait, is prowess just evergreen now? Do they just put that in all sets?
Yeah.
Interesting. That seems like not something that should exist in all sets, but okay.
Yeah.
And then it's got afflict. I don't get it. Why does it have afflict?
I have no idea. It always gets value.
This card's really bizarre. It really had me at the name and the art, and then it lost me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like this card. Also, it doesn't make any sense in a cycling set.
Nope.
That doesn't trigger prowess.
Nope. I have no idea what it's supposed to do.
I don't know why it's in this set. I don't get it. Okay, moving on. Too bad. Really cool art.
Are you?
Whoa, this is like a comic book.
Yeah, this is actually.
Whoa,
It is very different.
that looks really bizarre.
I think it looks cool, but
I think it looks cool, but I think it looks terrible in combination with everything else you're going to see when you
yeah.
open a pack.
So
Really bizarre.
this guy's the
And
big
then it's
poppy.
basically this is just like a limited card where the main thing you do is cycle it, and then sometimes you draw it in the late game, and hooray, you have 5/5 hexproof.
Yeah.
I really don't like their decision to only put hexproof on guys that your opponent probably has no cards in hand when you can play them anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, overall it's just lame. Whatever. And it's just another example of a reason why cycling shouldn't be a mechanic, but rather just a rule because the card's super lame, but you'll play it because it has cycling.
Then we have the card that describes you the best.
I mean, no kidding. Why isn't it just a portrait of me? Um, I mean, yeah, this card does something very different in going off the name only. But
Yeah, I don't know. Uh, so it's just
and it definitely should reference exerting.
yeah.
That's all I know. But
If you,
that
it,
said, way too many words.
yeah, it just keeps something tapped. Like, why does it really have to have desert synergy?
No,
Really have to?
it could just have way less words on it,
Yeah.
which would be a superior decision. Hey, look, it's unstoppable.
Yeah, it's just straight up.
Really cool art.
Yeah. Goodbye.
Although, who's the humans getting unsummoned there?
Yeah.
Because it looks like the Naga's just kind of standing there. It doesn't look like he's really.
No, the Naga's got his hand up. See?
Oh, okay. It's hard to even see because
Yeah,
his
it's hard to
hand's like the
see.
color of the spell.
Yeah, he's shooting the laser on someone at the human. Just goodbye.
It looks also too fiery.
Yeah, it's sort of weird. It actually looks like laser blast. Not unsummoned, but whatever.
Yeah. Like if you just put a red border on this card and made it called Fire Blast, I'd be
Okay.
like, oh yeah.
Our next spell is the person who gets fired. Who
For all
designed
the
the
words
set.
on all these cards.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is his card.
Wow, that's very gory.
Yeah.
Why is this card really bad?
I don't know.
Why can't they just push a card? Why can't it be 2 mana to do this?
That's a good question.
Because then it would actually be sweet.
Sweet stuff sucks.
Yeah, screw it. Make it bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it is. It's bad. Okay.
We got
Seer of the Last Tomorrow. These names are ridiculous. What? I thought this was a 1-drop at first.
No.
And then I realized this card. What?
I guess this is supposed to. They
You're
needed
supposed
a
to mill
discard
yourself.
card.
You're supposed to mill yourself, I guess, because you're never gonna mill out your opponent having to discard a card each time.
Oh, they wanted to combo with that other one. The put
Right.
X. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know how you're gonna get cards in your hand.
Why is this card so bad?
We got the proven combatant.
Why is that a blue card?
I have no idea.
That's like a super white card,
Yeah. It's
and it's like just F.
Yep.
Literally, if it didn't have like the blue outfit, it would have no reason to be blue.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to my favorite color.
Yeah, blue gets F plus because of the terrible Jason Gideon art.
Yes.
Now we got Razikesh. He is a commander infinite or insta kill.
So, I think this guy is great. I wish he didn't cost 8 for no reason though.
Yeah.
Make him 6/6 for 6. and I'd be all about him.
Yeah, for comparison, you can actually see below. You got the Gristle
Yeah, yeah,
Daddy.
yeah. He's also 8 mana, and he's slightly better.
Very slightly better. So you can see he could cost would be 6 too low?
I mean, he should be a 6/6 then, but
Yeah.
no, I think it'd be fine. Because also, if you look at this is oh my god, I can't say thesaurus to save my life.
Yeah.
Or rather, I can't say the thesaurus. I could say thesaurus, but the thesaurus, it's tongue twister. Runescar Demon costs less than this guy, and immediately demonic tutors,
Mhm.
and that card sucks.
Yeah. So.
So yeah, I just don't get why this guy had to be 8 mana, 8/8. I like the design. I like the rules text. I think it's cool.
Yeah. I think he's sweet.
Yeah, overall it's cool. I just don't. Why does it have to be so crappy? Anyway, moving on. Okay, here's the last one. So it's 3 mana Wrath. Um, this is the only one I actually don't hate
Yeah, it seems
so
amazing.
far. I mean, it doesn't seem amazing, but I don't hate it. Like, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Good job.
Bond
Also,
two.
cool art.
Yeah, it's Bond 2 wrecking everything, and that's what the card does.
Okay, Hour of Glory.
Yeah, this is another hour cycle.
So
When you see these cards, you say hour because they're
it's kind
so
of
bad.
it's kind of weird that a black targeted removal spell exiles.
That is very
I mean,
strange.
it has to because otherwise it can't kill the gods. Is the idea, right?
Hmm.
But it's kind of weird.
Which god is getting wrecked right there?
I have no idea.
I don't think that's Bond 2.
The art's not very good.
No. Is it sure it's wrecking a god, or is it like giving a god a shoulder massage?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like
Also, why do they need to have a god hoster? Like, this card isn't good. I don't get it.
Okay, we got Apocalypse Demon. Uh,
Wow, this guy sucks.
yeah, he does.
Um, literally, look at this the thesaurus there, and look at Lord of Extinction and compare it to this.
Yeah. In all graveyards. Oh, and
All
he's
cards
cheaper.
in all graveyards, and he's cheaper, and you don't sack a guy every turn.
Yeah.
Why does it exist, and why is it rare? F.
Yep. The Amit Internal.
Okay, they're getting out of hand. You don't need a zombie crocodile demon.
Why is
You just
why
don't.
is it a demon too? Or a crocodile? I can look at the card art and like guess it's a crocodile or something. It doesn't
Right.
like there's no crocodile synergy. There's no like all your crocodiles get fucking death roll. Right?
This card is pretty clever. It's
Mm,
pretty funny, so I like that. However, I think oftentimes it's just going to die.
yeah.
But I guess it got 3 damage when it does. So
Yep. Okay. Then we got Nicobolus laying down torment.
that is a cool looking card.
It is awesome.
What does it do? Oh, it's really bad.
Yeah.
So the Punisher mechanic, aka your opponent chooses between 2 things, is really bad. And this gives them 3 options.
Mhm.
So it's actually unbelievably bad.
Yep. It's
X has to equal like 20 for this to
yeah.
be good.
That'd be pretty good. What if it was just 20? uh,
So the top rated comment on that card in the little comment section is this is candy to an EDH player. No, actually. It's
No.
actually just bad because
Yeah,
they'll just pay like 12 life or whatever, and that was it.
yeah, you have 10 more life. Like, how is it? Uh, whatever.
Moving on.
I guess it's different when you don't have all the cards. like on cockatrice.
So yeah, I actually think that card is bad design because it's so bad power
Mm-hmm.
level wise.
We got the Dream Stealer. Menaces have to be blocked by 2 or more.
Yep,
Why does it even have Eternalize?
because of his poorly worded ability that only exists because of Eternalize.
Hmm. Sweet.
This guy's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
Actually, like this guy, I actually am a fan of.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the first Eternalized guy that I'm legitimately a fan of. Good job. They got one.
Liliana
This
gets wrecked.
card gets like a Ultra F.
Yeah.
Just
I can't even tell what's happening in it.
unbelievably bad wording and does nothing. And
I'm putting it on my decks just to get rid of because Liliana's happens all the time.
mm.
We got the Bane Whip.
It's just me or are these card frames weird looking?
They are actually. The black ones are different for some reason.
They look like the enchantment creatures from Theros.
They look like that really old shit from like the 90s.
Kind of.
I like it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Sweet. People are getting punished. Okay, we got the Vile Manifestation. Oh, the cycling synergy. Here we go.
Yeah, I like it.
hmm I think it's actually. It seems like it's pretty good. Maybe it's not. This is terrible.
Fine draft card.
Yeah. Merciless Eternal. That cost is insane.
Yeah, I don't know why it's 3 mana and discard. Why can't it be 2 mana and discard? Also, why is it black? This card should not be black.
I have no idea.
Or, sorry, it could be black. Why is it not a shade?
Yeah.
Shades are the things that pop themselves in black.
And it's
All of
not
a sudden,
Eternal,
zombie
though.
clerics.
Yeah, zombie
Yeah,
cleric.
why? Yeah, why does the Eternal guy have Eternalize?
Yeah, why does he not have Eternalize? That's just nonsense. Is he already a zombie? You can't make another one out of him? Come on.
Yeah, I don't like the flavor of this card, but mechanically it's fine.
And then we have Razaketh's crap table, or
Oh yeah,
or the blackjack table, or something. I think that's what he's doing. Pick a card.
3-card Monty.
Yeah, it's Razaketh's 3-card Monty.
5 mana tutor.
Yeah.
That's a joke. Terrible design.
Goodbye. 5 mana tutor.
Torment of Scarabs.
Dude, it's 4 mana. Put them on a 7-turn clock. Unless you do anything else.
This card's a cooler version of that Nicol Bolas spell.
Yeah.
I actually really like the flavor of this. I mean, it's not powerful, but
No.
it's cool. It like slowly eats away at something. I like that.
hmm
I mean, if they wanted to make it like strong, it would have to like be 2 mana. But
I guess because it would suck too much because someone's first 4 plays were Torment of Scarabs, Torment of Scarabs, Torment of Scarabs times 2.
yeah, that'd be pretty good.
And then you wouldn't want to play Magic anymore. Oh, here's another choose one card. I guess there's gonna be a bunch of these.
Doomfall.
Exiles? Why is it exile, not sacrifice?
Everything is exiled.
Ah,
Because the removal spells have to be eternalized.
ooh. It's not black.
I mean, them choosing to exile their own thing just is like such painful flavor.
hmm
Um, yeah, I don't like this one.
No.
I mean, don't get me wrong, it's like playable or whatever, but it's just not interesting.
No. Okay. So next we have
Did it
the
really have to say attacking zombie gains indestructible?
yes.
It
Otherwise,
couldn't
it'd be
just
way
say.
too good.
I know, right?
Yep.
You just see it everywhere.
Yeah. I like the art on it because the hands like coming into your face.
Yeah, it's like 3D.
Yeah, it's cool. But
Um,
it's
I don't know why it's just so weak. Why are they all so weak? Wizard, stop making your cards weak.
we got the sick wall for 3. The moaning
Wow, that
wall.
card's awful. Dude, all the cycling cards are just awful. They're just cringeworthy. Okay, moving
Yeah.
on. Oh, speaking of.
The rot beast.
Nothing to say.
Nope. A zombie beast. Okay. That's not even like a creature. It's just a beast. They couldn't say it was like a mammoth.
Who knows? Moving on.
I like the lethal
Lethal
thing.
thing's interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting. Oh, why isn't it exile? It sucks. Doesn't exile.
Yeah. F minus.
Everything has to exile.
Yeah. They should have to choose to exile a creature.
Right. But yeah, overall, it's a cool card.
Yeah, I like it.
It's weak, but whatever.
Alright, we got the Grizzly Survivor.
I once again don't understand how this is a survivor.
Nope.
Sure.
What if it was like cycle
Less interesting than the other one, by the
yeah,
way.
gains indestructible?
Ooh, here's a really cool card name in Art I have high hopes called Without Weakness. Oh, it's really bad because it has cycling.
Yep.
Man, cool name and cool art.
Rip. Oh, we got the Scrounger of Souls. Look how spooky this guy is.
Why is he so terrible?
Uh, typo on the flavor text on the side.
Yeah.
Not on the card.
Tat.
And Tatmancer. The thing is,
I,
his name could be Tat. Like that could be.
Alright.
Oh, we got a
Why
rat.
isn't it? Why isn't the flavor text hell for Yelp? Fuck Yelp. A rat?
Yeah, a rat.
Oh wow. See this guy. This is actually maybe my favorite design of the whole set.
It's sweet.
Like great art.
Yep.
Mechanically works great with the set.
Yep.
Fantastic.
And it's...
Whoever designed this should make the whole next set.
this is made by Rat Guy. He only ever designs rat cards for Magic. So
Oh well, then he must have made Rat Pack. So never mind, he's fired.
he can't. He can only make rat cards. So he's
Okay. Yeah, that was probably one of the best design cards I've seen. Probably the best, actually. Really elegant and
Yep.
does mechanically interesting things with the set.
Mm-hmm.
All this desert crap. Whatever. It's just like shoehorned in desert flavor.
Yeah.
Like nothing about this card is a camel other than they say it's a camel.
Yep.
And nothing about this card interacts with deserts except they say it does. So actually, it's just terrible. F minus. Torment of Venom.
So there's not a bunch of pool balls hitting the sky. So it's so far it's F minus.
Yeah, I don't know. not even a super.
No.
Put 3 on a creature, lose 3 life. It's sacrifice enough. So it's all about this 3 life or sack the thing or discard a thing.
Mm.
I don't get it. I don't get why it's on this card. I think it's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good in draft or whatever, like playability wise, but I think the design's awful and I don't get it. What about a Torment of Venom gives you a choice of doing stuff?
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Like, imagine you go to the doctor, like, okay, so you've been hit with venom. You could either lose years off your life, or we're gonna have to cut off your limb, or discard a card. Like,
I'll cut off a limb.
I don't get it. Okay, moving on.
The Kenra Eternal. Non-Eternal
What?
again.
And afflict one. You're fired. Get out.
Get
What
it.
do we do with this terrible mechanic we made? Put it on a 2/2. Moving on.
The Marauding Bone Slasher. What? He should be cheaper, right? Because he
No,
can't
he's
block.
just no three. Black usually does not get 3/3s for 3 unless they're bad.
Okay.
That there's actually a precedent for that. I don't know why, but there is. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get what the flavor of this is.
I don't know either. You have to
Why
tell,
can't it block?
You have to tell Minotaurs to block.
I guess.
The Zombie Bird, the 3/1 for 4.
Sweet art.
Yeah.
Sure, whatever. Not much to say about that one. Okay,
And that's black.
we're almost there. I'll give black an F because
Wow.
it had a couple of good cards. But a couple out of like 40 is still.
All right, we're starting off strong with the legendary.
The
Eternal.
So
again.
look, the font had to shrink for his card type.
Yeah.
That is not okay.
Dude, my warrior coward synergy deck is coming together with this guy.
Yeah. So, trivia question: does red want a card that does nothing when you play it?
No.
Okay, no,
Never.
unless it's like a 1-drop or a 2-drop.
Yep.
And even that's pushing it. How about does red want ramp starting as soon as turn 6?
Never. Not ever in its history.
Okay. And how does it feel about a guy with more toughness than power?
Never.
Okay, so you're correct. You win.
Yep.
However, whoever designed this card loses. They're fired.
Yep. Goodbye. What a piece
Horrible. Absolutely horrible. And whoever approved this, whoever, like, the lead design that has to approve this stuff, like, grow a pair of balls.
Yeah.
And actually make a card that might do something. Instead of putting trash mythic rares in your set.
I agree.
Okay, a lot of words on this one.
Oh boy. Without paying their mana cost.
So, this card would be an A if not for one thing.
You
Shuffle your library.
First.
Why?
First.
Why don't they let you combo with a 6-mana sorcery that stops you from having a next turn?
Yeah, this is like... It's just
Don't tell me that would be too good.
It's just like they don't
Don't
want anything
do it.
fun to happen in the set.
Yeah.
This is Hour of Devastation to fun.
Yeah, devastating the fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, instead this card's an F because it's awful.
Yeah. Now we have a sweet card. Actually, the Hour of Devastation.
Yeah.
They made sure that the card the set was named after was.
Okay, so all creatures lose indestructible is like terrible to have to put on a card.
Yeah.
But and then non-bolus planeswalker again, it's terrible to have to put on a card.
Yeah.
So those cringes aside, this card's fine though.
Yeah.
Other than that,
I
I don't really get the art though. The art's not very devastating.
No. It's if they could swap this one with that black card where all the purple shit's
Yeah.
Seems great. Imminent Doom.
That'd be great.
It's actually not the Imminent Doom. It's
actually dragon flying out of in front of the castle or whatever.
yeah, and it's extremely slow Doom.
Oh right, this card.
Yeah.
Also, let's say this was good, right?
Yeah.
Boom, sideboard Slemity, and goodbye.
Yeah.
Nice Imminent Doom.
Good.
This card, I know there's a little bit of a precedent for there to be red enchantments that ramp up, such as Pyromancer Ascension and um, probably a couple others I'm not thinking of. But it just doesn't feel very red to me.
No.
And then, yeah, dealing damage is red, but like that idea of like ramping up and playing a bunch of you care about the mana cost and you gotta be like tricky to like sequence your thing. It just doesn't. That's not what red does.
Yeah.
And then the flavor and art on this card make just absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, it gets an F.
Next we have a card I like, Chaos Maw. I think it's sweet.
Chaos Maw. Yeah, it's very basic. It should cost 6, so it could actually be decent.
Yeah.
But yeah, fine.
Otherwise, sweet. Get in there.
Sure.
Boom. It's a big spooky worm.
Oh, here we go. Back to the way too much words.
Yeah, Earthshaker. Oh god, it's so small. Can't block. Oh my god.
So it's a 2-mana 2/1 with haste, and then it comes back never probably because your red deck doesn't get the 6 mana.
No.
But if it did, then it could make everything with 4. Yeah, this card, they really cornered themselves with Eternalize always being 4/4,
Yeah.
because this card absolutely should not cost 6. But if it costs less than 6, then it's unbelievable and limited.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a joke and constructed either way.
Yeah.
But if this was 5 mana for the Eternalize, it'd be crazy good and limited.
You might see it just because it has haste.
No, it's just bad.
Yeah. Alright, Wildfire Eternal.
This card has some cool art.
Yeah. Too bad.
Oh, I thought it was from your graveyard.
No.
Why is it? My problem with this card is that if you paid 4 mana and then waited a turn, do you need to cast things for free anymore?
Probably not. You're probably almost out of cards if you're red.
Right. This card is really close. It should have said from your graveyard.
Yeah.
Then it would be sweet. I would give this card an A+ if it was from your graveyard instead of from your hand.
It has 2 different arts?
That's just a promo.
Oh, okay. If it cost for a graveyard, it'd be fucking sweet.
It would be really cool.
Yeah. Too bad they hate cool things and fun, so let's go on.
Yeah, so I'll give it I gotta give it more than an F because that art is just so sick.
I give it like a D.
Yeah, it's fine.
Alright, we got Chandra's Defeat.
Yeah, I don't get it. Okay, moving on.
She's it's actually
Moving on.
Chandra in the palm of my hand for some reason.
Yeah. Okay, we have a first striker that can pump. Yeah, clever.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, it's fine. Magmaroth. So it gets smaller. My problem with this is that it's not big enough to begin with to warrant its downside. And I don't mean in terms of playability. I do mean in terms of literal design. Like, the upside isn't exciting enough. Yeah. Like, you're not going to want to build around this card because who cares? You got a 5/5 if you try hard enough.
I wonder if it was whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Magmaroth. Maybe that would be...
I mean that'd be kind of confusing for players because because +1s do counter -1, so mechanically it should work, but it'd be confusing for them. Mm-hmm. It's almost like they could give this guy prowess.
Yeah. All right. Then we have Manticore Eternal, not Eternal, of course.
Yeah,
naturally. Eternal, it ain't coming back.
It actually means Afflict 3. Why isn't it called the Afflicting Manticore? I don't know.
It attacks.
I have no clue why this has Afflict. Moving on.
Sand Strangler. It's Sandshrew. Sand Slash, maybe.
Oh yeah, Sand Slash.
So many words.
So many words.
It's the BAM stand for Lizzo. If you have a desert.
Oh wow, that card's really powerful if you have a desert.
Yep. Most of the common lands are deserts, so.
So I've noticed none of these desert cards actually have any flavor.
No.
Like at all. Literally zero.
It's
So it gets an F.
very exciting. The fervent paincaster. This better be awesome. Oh, oh,
Wow, how far the mighty have fallen.
yeah,
So now pingers cost 3 mana and take 2 turns to ping.
yeah.
Why does she tap to deal 1 to a player when she's a 3/1?
I don't know. I guess you.
Well, like when are you using that?
I don't know. It does look like she's in pain while casting a spell, so maybe that's what it means. She's
Also,
using
if she's a
to cast.
pain caster, why doesn't she hurt herself? Why
Deal damage to both
or hurt
players.
you? Yeah, hurt you. Like this card is so badly designed.
Yeah.
Whatever.
All right, we got Inferno Jet. Oh baby. All you cast 4 of these, you win.
Yeah, I don't get it.
No,
Okay,
goodbye.
moving on.
Firebrand Archer. I think this doesn't have reach.
It does not, which is already a fail.
Yeah.
Archer should have reach.
It's fucking weird.
Yeah, it's really bad. Whatever. Who cares? Filler.
We got Crash Through.
They didn't spend any time thinking about it, so we're not gonna spend any time reviewing it.
Yep.
That's our rule there.
It doesn't have reach. Like that's it. Like
Yeah.
move on. Crash Through. This
Yeah.
I don't know why
Whatever.
it's not green. Trample's like a green thing, isn't it?
Yes. I mean, some red has trample, maybe.
Yeah.
Moving on. Who cares?
Blur of Blades.
This card sucks.
Yeah, a -1.
I don't get the mechanics of it either. I don't get why. I don't get the flavor. I don't get it.
No, it doesn't seem
Okay.
very bladey or blurry.
All right, moving on. Puncturing blow.
5 damage to our creature.
Oh, exile. Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Mandatory exile card. I don't get again what's a puncturing blow about this. It looks like girl flying through the air with a sword.
She's about to puncture that thing.
It looks like she's really far away from
Oh,
it.
she actually is really far away. Yeah, you're right. Because there's a little guy who's way closer.
Yeah, like way, 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 way small. Yeah. I don't get it.
Why doesn't it deal 5 to target creature or player, and then you can exile that player
Yeah,
if it would kill them?
I agree. Okay, moving on.
Kindled Fury.
They made this card before. This
Yeah.
card's very similar to it. Yeah, it's really boring and lame. Whatever.
Yeah. The Titan. Okay, I'm excited. I love Titans. Menace. Okay.
Sweet art.
Yeah.
That's all I can say about it. Another garbage cycling card.
Has cycling sounds bad. Thorn.
Why does a lizard have prowess?
I don't know. That's weird. Prowess is
flavor.
usually a human thing, right?
Yes, it's like a monk, a Shaolin monk.
Yeah.
Yes, card's flavor is just truly bizarre.
As long as
It's fine though mechanically.
Yeah. All right, whatever. Frontline Devastator. All right. Afflict 2.
I don't get these. It's like, dude, I think I haven't even looked at all the Afflict cards before this. I think my point about it being a bad mechanic is literally proven.
Yeah.
Because none of these cards do anything.
No.
So, like, I am right. Afflict should not be a mechanic.
No.
Moving on. 2 mana 2/2. They did it. Good job.
That's it. Nothing to say. The Scrapper. If you exert.
I mean, it's powerful, but for drafts, but
Is it even powerful? It has menace.
Yeah. It pretty much either kills 2 of their small guys or just hits them for 4 a lot.
Okay, we got Open Fire. Creature player.
So lightning bolt's falling off a little bit.
Yeah, Lightning Bolt's a little bit worse than it used to be.
What the hell is the art I'm looking at?
Uh.
It looks like a disfigured dragon head with an arrow going through the bottom of its jaw.
Someone's firing big jackal arrows.
Oh,
Because what you want for...
that's not what arrows are, though. That's not how arrows work.
Well, it's magic, so
Oh, is it like just fire?
yeah,
Like the whole jackal head just like fiery smoke?
I think so.
Okay, this art is just terrible.
Yep.
And the card sucks. So there you go.
We got the Gilded Cerodon.
What the hell is that?
It looks hilarious. I think that
What?
looks
What the hell?
great.
Again, no flavor whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And we got a braid.
Well, why is this so much better than Open Fire?
I don't know. It seems great.
Why is it like 10 times better? I'm confused.
Oh, because open fire can go face.
I guess this is uncommon is the other reason.
Yeah.
I don't get the art, but I also don't. Is a braid a word? I'm sure it is. I don't know what that means. I'm not gonna lie. Moving on.
Okay. Got the green.
Whoa,
Oh yeah, sorry.
words.
Red got F minus.
Yeah, I just have. Okay. Oh yeah, this guy sucks,
Yep.
and he's got a lot of words to be really bad.
Yep.
5 drops that do not protect themselves at all and rely on you having other things to do literally anything, including live. Yeah,
No.
they should have known better.
Well, they'd probably do. Just don't care.
Yeah, so all the mythics in the set are just literally throw them away.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Uncage the Menagerie. It's just to draw a bunch of cards, I guess.
This card's a joke.
Yeah, it seems insanely expensive. Okay, and then
This
we
card's
have
a total joke.
Rona's Last Stand, the cycle card.
Uh, I guess it's kind of like Overload in MTG. This one,
Yeah,
it's Totem Golem.
it seems sweet.
Um,
It's 5/4 for 2, like whatever.
yeah, I can get more on board with this one in terms of at least making sense.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm fine with this existing.
Yeah, it seems fine.
I don't get the art though.
Yeah. That's the stake token, I guess.
Hour of Promise. I don't get the flavor at all. Also, why is it so expensive to do so little? For 5 mana, you get 2 lands and then maybe 2 2/2s for 5 mana?
Yeah. That's not very powerful for 5 mana.
I don't get why is what?
Some cards for 5 mana let you take another turn. Is that better?
And or some cards for 2 mana let you take another turn.
Well, that's not word. That was a mistake.
Just like this card, just in a very opposite way.
Okay.
Honestly, I think I'm just done. Like that one, just like I just want to scoop. These cards suck.
You're gonna stop?
Yeah, I think we're actually just gonna summarize here. So, because I think our point is made.
Yeah.
And the point here, folks, is we're gonna learn a few lessons from Hour of Devastation. Number 1, too many words on cards just makes everything terrible.
Yeah.
Number 2 is cards have to actually do what decks would want them to do. For example, red cards that ramp you on turn 6 and have more toughness and power, just are no one's happy that exists. Literally nobody. Number 3, adding garbage uninspired mechanics to your game leads to adding garbage uninspired cards.
Yep.
Like Afflict. Number 4, adding cycles to your game, like cycles of cards, like a red card, a white card, a blue card, a green card, a black card. Oftentimes is going to lead you to have to design really crappy, lame cards because it's hard to make 5 of a thing that do a similar thing but are all flavorful to their color.
I'll put a corollary to that, is that you could have one cycle that's cool. I'm sure you could figure out one.
Like the commands are cool from Lorwyn.
Yeah, I'm sure you could figure out one that was cool, but you probably only could do one. It's probably too much to do, like 5.
I think even doing one's hard though, like especially when it's as extreme as your lands don't untap, or it has to kill a planeswalker of that color. Like
part of that corollary is if you have like a really good idea, and
right?
Then you
or you make it really open ended. Like the command cycle was cool because the commands didn't lock. It just literally said, "Do any 2 things that are red. Do any 2 things that are white. Do any 2 things that are blue." Like. Very open ended, so it's easy to be cool and for people to like it.
Yeah, this is so bad.
So those like 4 lessons, and then maybe as a fifth, cycling should not be a mechanic, but rather a rule, because it just leads you to making really lame cards.
Yeah. Maybe 6. The names of your cards matter when
Yes,
when you have a name of a card that says Eternal, and none of them have your fucking eternalized keyword on it. It just doesn't make sense. It's an eternal. Give it like persist or eternalize or whatever. Just make it come back.
indestructible.
It's an
Yeah,
eternal. I guess it's I guess it's supposed to be an eternal because they're zombies, and eternal is a name for some sort of like guardians of pyramids or whatever. But it's still stupid. They
it's
don't have
really
eternal.
bad and confusing in a set with a keyword eternalize.
Yeah, that was just
Terrible decision.
yeah.
Um, Trying to think if there's any other lessons. It's kind of weird to reference cards that aren't even in the set. Like if you kill a Jace Planeswalker, you do a thing when there is no Jace Planeswalker in the set. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's 7. Cards in your set should be like set contained unless there's a good reason. Like that, the Vizier who referenced Entomb is pretty good because Amonkhet and Hour of Devestation are basically like the same time zone
Right, they're
or
back to
whatever.
back. Yeah, they're back. Well, they're in the same block, so you're gonna
Yeah,
get to play with them standard at the same time.
yeah,
And it would almost, it's justifiable because that card would almost make less sense if it didn't let you hit Entomb guys or whatever, bomb guys. Sorry. Um, but like in that case, like you can have exceptions to any rule, like any design rule. There's gonna be exceptions, but generally speaking, yes, you really want you want things to interact with cards in the set. Like that rack card, that is my
yeah.
favorite card that we reviewed.
It was
It
great.
it could fit anywhere, but it made so much sense
hmm
in the set it was in, and it even had an okay power level.
Yeah, I think the first 3 rules you said, or the first 3 lessons, were actually there's no exceptions to those.
Right.
they, they just get wrecked.
Oh yeah, and also just as another side thing, stop using X so much. X is confusing.
Just pick a
If
number.
it's a single X and then it corresponds to doing one thing, like that one card we just reviewed in green,
Yeah.
where you have to pay X and then you get X different guys of X converted like no
What
one
the
like
fuck?
like a new player like little Timmy, little 9-year-old Timmy, like I probably first picked up Magic cards when I was like 8 or 9. I literally wouldn't even know what that did.
It's hard to parse even now. You have to really go slowly through it. For X creatures, okay, so I.
And the problem is, like, the thing that offends me the most about such a card like that is the card is complete garbage.
Yeah.
So you pay 4 mana to draw 2 different 2/2s?
Is that really?
Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's insane. Like, is that what you want to do on turn 4? Is that your big play?
Draw 2/2, and they can't even be the same one. So if you have a good one, you can't even get 2 of it.
Yeah, I don't
And
know.
then past that, do you even have 3 different 3/3s in your deck? You definitely don't have 4 different 4/4s, and you absolutely don't have 5 different 5/5s.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you did, you're not spending 7 mana to draw some cards. But especially like think about that. So let's say you went off, right? That's the thing about X spells is they're supposed to be, for the most part, bad at the low X's and good at the high X's.
Right.
So let's say you pay 9 mana, so you can get 7 different 7/7s, aka the 1/7 drop in your deck.
Yeah.
Let's say you had 7 different 7 drops, right? You had 7 different 7 drops. So you paid 9 mana to do nothing, and the next turn you can play one of those.
It's just unreal to think about.
It's unreal how bad. Like, here's the thing. I don't think cards need to be powerful in order to be designed well. But if they're complete garbage, then the design is automatically invalidated.
Yeah.
I mean, the design is awful on that card. Don't get me wrong. But even if it was, like, really interesting, the fact that it's so weak means it doesn't matter. Who cares how interesting it is if no one's ever going to play it?
Yeah.
You can't play it in draft. You can't play it in constructed. Some little idiot somewhere is going to put it in their commander deck and lose really badly.
Yeah, is it supposed to be just like a commander card?
It has to be because where else are you playing 5/5 drops?
Yeah,
I mean,
different
not
five
in
drops.
Commander is the answer, but
Like, what do you get with it? Like Snapcaster Mage? Like that's your big play?
yeah, you get Snapcaster and Dark Confidant in your green blue black deck. There you go.
uh, too bad you already have.
We literally just discussed the best possible use of that card.
Yeah.
4 mana tutor for your Dark Confidant and Snapcaster Mage.
But yeah, like even in that sense, like you already have way better tutors for those.
Oh yeah, well, or you just don't pay 4 mana to draw 2 cards.
Yeah, so it's just unreal and unreal bad in every single sense. It's really sad that the X card that doesn't get better, it like gets worse somehow.
Well, it goes against what you want to be doing as a player. Like what it should say is it should be like green, 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 an X, and then it does that effect, except it puts them into play.
That'd be sweet.
So then for 5 mana, you get 1/1 drop. Yeah, it's terrible. For 6 mana, you get 2/2 drops. Yeah, it's terrible. For 7 mana, you get 3/3 drops. You're getting somewhere. For 8 mana, you get 4/4 drops. Okay, that's strong. And then for 9 mana, you get 5/5 drops. Okay.
We're going in, and green can get to 5 mana or 9 mana like a lot
Right.
faster, right?
That would have been an exciting card. That might actually be Commander playable. I mean, it's not quite because Tooth and Nail's better at 9 mana,
Yeah.
but that would at least be close.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Like you could just play it in your like if you're just
Casual player, like you could
Yeah.
justify it.
yeah, you could just do it. It'd be sweet. All right.
So, in conclusion, as usual, better designing their cards than they are.
Yep.
Good job. And you know what? I'm sure the 0 people that are listening to this are gonna be like, "Oh, what the fuck do you know?" Like, well, I mean, I just proved to you that. I mean, I called how terrible Afflict would be, and then we saw the Afflict cards, and they're all terrible. We talked about how Eternalize, not only is it really uninspired and lame, but it also makes you word all the cards poorly and have way too much text on everything, which is exactly correct. And then we just discussed a couple fixes to cards that sound way more fun than what they actually made in their real game that has millions of players.
Yeah.
So,
There were actually 4 viewers most of the time.
wow, look at that.
I know. So I'm gonna end the stream there. We'll be back with Hearthstone when they
Oh, yeah.
when they finish spoiling that in August. It actually comes out in August.
Yeah, we're almost there.
Usually they have a spoiler like 2 or 3 months before.
Right.
So I guess we're just gonna spoil it all in
A hurry.
week. Yeah, I guess it's gonna be fast. But yeah, I only do reviews when all the cards are out because I don't want to be like, oh, this card sucks, and then it's a huge, amazing tribal or whatever. So
Right.
so
All right. Well, thanks for listening to
Yeah,
our genius commentary.
I'm sorry if you play Magic. I'm sorry.
Just play Commander with us on.
Yeah, play Commander on
Cockatrice.
It's a good time. You get all the cards,
Yeah.
and it's sweet. You play.
And you don't play terrible cards. Oh, and we get to erotic cards like slivers. Get to not cross buff your opponent's slivers.